Hello! Welcome to Tuesday Time number 6, or The Legend of Curly's Gold. So I guess my game today is, what movie is that actually a reference to? Because it's an infamous sequel. You could look it up pretty easily, but I'll be impressed if you actually take the time to do it. This is your vocab, your La Quinta High School academic word of the week, and your idiom of the week. Here we go. By the way, when is one of you going to come up with a Tuesday Time song to the tune of the Adventure Time song? That'd be next level. One of you needs to do it. The words this week are evidence, ogle, writhe, tumult, somber, smite, pilgrimage, invoke, eloquent, and beseech. To writhe, it's a verb. It's to twist and move as a result of extreme pain. I suppose it could be extreme discomfort as well, but if someone writhes, they're kind of moving in an uncomfortable way, everything hurts. It can be psychological pain as well. Watching your classes, there'll be a kid who's not ready for the test, and the test is coming, and you'll see them squirm and wiggle in their seat. They are writhing in psychological pain. This also happens, of course, with physical pain. Tumult, it's a noun. It's the chaos and the violent movement of a crowd suddenly disturbed or provoked. It's a lot of kind of movement in an angry and aggressive kind of way when things are suddenly out of hand. If you watch a riot break out, that is tumult that you are watching. If you even watch, like, during discussions in class, you can see things start to get ugly. If there's a fight somewhere, there's tumult that will erupt in the crowd as people elbow and jockey for position as teachers are trying to stop the fight. By the way, stop fights. We've had a bunch of them on campus lately. Don't fight. And if you see one, don't congratulate it with your attention. Try to break it up and stop it. All right. Just, be good people is what I'm saying here. Somber. It's an adjective. It's used to describe feeling or acting in a way that demonstrates sadness or feeling grim. It's dark. Kind of depressing. It's when everyone's kind of bummed out and really serious. So a somber mood is everyone's kind of grim. Smite, it's a verb. It's to strike or to hit very hard. It's usually used in a big, grand kind of way. The voice it's using is almost biblical in its grandness. You'll see it in the Bible quite a bit. If God smites someone, right? The past tense of it, incidentally, is not smited, as you might guess. It is smote. You swap out the I for an O. Pilgrimage, it's a noun. It's a journey undertaken by someone seeking personal or spiritual fulfillment. Usually when you hear about it, it'll be religious fulfillment, all right? The reason why the pilgrims who came to North America are called the pilgrims is because they were on a spiritual pilgrimage. Anyone who is on a pilgrimage is called a pilgrim of some kind. In modern society, the biggest pilgrimage is when Muslims go to Mecca to see it's a holy place for them. So they have to make a pilgrimage there to pray at this place. People have pilgrimages that aren't just religious. Catholics may go to the Vatican, for instance, or if someone goes to Israel. But there's non-religious ones as well. If someone's really into rock and roll, their pilgrimage might be to go to Graceland, which was Elvis's house, things of that nature. That's a pretty extreme switch from religion to Elvis. But people use the word pilgrimage for something that's of extreme personal importance, right? Invoke, it's a verb. It's to call on a divine power to ask for aid. Also used in formal settings, meetings and procedures, things like that, to call for something to happen, to institute a rule of some kind. So if you invoke something, you're demanding that something occur, all right? If I invoke the idea of, what would be a good school example? Usually you invoke a rule. I invoke rule number 7, and that means everyone suddenly has to obey rule number 7, which in my class, I don't have a rule 7. What would be a good rule 7? Rule 7 would be everyone has to stand up, turn around, and sit down in a different seat, just to kind of mix things up maybe. Eloquent. That previous explanation was not very eloquent. However, this is going to be. Eloquent is an adjective. It's used to describe someone who can speak and describe things extremely well. It's used to describe someone who has an outstanding vocabulary that they can then use to explain those things well to any given audience. Now, vocabulary isn't necessarily the thing here. It's that they use exactly the right vocabulary for the right audience. Someone who's eloquent can make something understood to children or to professionals, to academics, to scientists, to voters, whatever it may be. Ms. Douglass, as it says here, is indeed quite eloquent, particularly if she's talking about, I don't know, Gilmore Girls, or Star Trek, or other things that I just don't care about. Now, here we go on to our last one. Beseech, our last slide for words. Beseech is a verb. It's to beg desperately for something. You'd say, I beseech you, please give me more bread, whatever you're begging for. So if someone is beseeching, they are really, really begging desperately. Now, the La Quinta High School academic word of the week is evidence. This is a word that all of our students should be well familiar with. It's the information that you use to back up a claim or to prove a point. This is one that, again, we've been using quite a bit. Now, our idiom of the week is to nip in the bud. To nip in the bud is to end something at its very earliest stage. It comes from gardening, as you'd see in this picture here. The bud is the very beginning stage of a flower. It hasn't even really become a flower yet. It's just the little bulb that eventually will open up into a flower. Now, if you want to stop that thing from flowering, you cut it off before it even becomes a flower, right? You nip it in the bud. So if there's something bad going on, and you can see it beginning, not that flowers are bad, but this is what the expression means. If you can see something going on, you nip it in the bud. You stop it before it even has a chance to really start. So in gardening, you'd prune roses to make them grow in a certain shape, right? Please note, it is not to nip in the butt. That is I'm not sure what it is, but it's not that. So make sure you pronounce it correctly, and just in general, pronounce things correctly, all right? Stop calling espresso espresso. That's not what it's called. It doesn't mean to go fast. It's powerful coffee, all right? And stop saying, I could care less. To say I could care less indicates that you care, at least to some degree. The expression is, I couldn't care less. Meaning, I care so little, it's not possible for me to care any less than I already do. All right? So stop saying I could care less. That's dumb. Don't do that. All right. That is it. That is the slideshow for this week. Please do take notes. Please do look it over so that you will do well on the quiz, and we will be expecting that you use these words in conversation. All right. See you later.